So I think it's safe to say that Deep Space Nine is probably regarded as the best Star Trek. It is to me anyway, and I don't know what the rest of y'all think. And some argue that Deep Space Nine didn't get good until season 3, when Cisco grew the beard and everything. I think DS9 was great from the pilot, which is also sort of perfect. Really establishes the vibe shift from the get-go. It doesn't waste your time, unlike other Star Trek pilots. I won't say which ones, but some are not very good. Some are pretty terrible, even. It all starts with the characters. Spoiler alert, by the way. There's going to be a lot of spoilers. You got Major Kira, who's sort of the key to all this. And she's a character that we haven't really seen, nor will we ever really see again in Star Trek. I know I'm probably not the first one who's ever said this, but Deep Space Nine probably wouldn't have been made after 9/11. Because the show acknowledges that she's basically a terrorist, an insurgent, and they bring it up any chance they get. She was a freedom fighter, and she's not shy about reminding people. I've killed before, and I'll probably kill again. They had initially planned for the second officer to be Ro Laren. I think that's why Kira has her weird haircut in the pilot. The high and tight one that she has for most of the show is way cooler in my opinion. God, she's just so cool. And she's mean too. Love her to death. No notes on this character. Then there's Odo, the token fish out of water character. The only good cop in the quadrant. He's so ornery and borderline antisocial, but he's pretty good at his job. He can do the morph thing, which is pretty funny. Anytime I see the morph thing in the show, in an episode, I just think that effect probably cost $30,000 in 1993. That's why they could only do it like twice a season. We don't get to see much of him in the pilot, and his face is just a little off. But he grows on you. And then there's Jadzia Dax. She's so cool. She's got that worm all up in her, so Cisco calls her old man. That's charming. She's not given enough to do in the pilot, and I think at one point she's like, hey, maybe we should realign the something or other to show that she's plucky and smart. That's fine. Time is of the essence, I guess. She gets her moments. She even gets them in season 1, and they're all definitely worth the wait. Then there's Dr. Julian Bashir. We can skip this one. I think he's kind of a drip. I don't find him detestable or anything. He's just so goddamn tepid. Just like a real Harry Kim-ass character. So, because you are neither hot or cold, I will spit you from my mouth. Can't waste any time on you, because we gotta get to Miles O'Brien. 45-year-old Irish-ass Miles O'Brien. I love this guy. He's a hardscrabble everyman, he loves tinkering, and he's not like any of these snobby officers. He's an enlisted guy. He's got a hot wife. That's pretty cool. But before the show ends, he'll probably have more PTSD than any character in Star Trek history. Kind of a bummer they did him so dirty, but you never heard his ass complaining. I will say that the goodbye from Picard is pretty funny and a little misplaced. He's all like, nobody slapped that transporter button better than you, Chief. I guess Miles did have a few moments when he wasn't just clicking buttons in the transporter room, but the goodbye still feels a little bit disingenuous. I'm willing to bet Picard forgot O'Brien's name half the time. Speaking of forgetting names, I love it when Picard and Cisco meet, and Picard's like,
welcome to Bajor.
That's the take you went with? Did anybody brief Patrick? You guys couldn't do it one more time?
Welcome to Bajor.
Feels like Patrick was like, listen, you get me for 20 minutes. I'm wanted on the set of Robin Hood Men in Tights. Alright?
Welcome to Bajor.
Did you get that? Okay, best of luck. Gotta go put on my king hat. Gotta go crack-wise with Mel Brooks. Quark! Man, people don't like Ferengis, but I'm not one of them. I love them. And I love Quark. If you're watching this stupid video, you probably already know that Armin Shimmerman portrayed one of the first Ferengis ever seen. But all previous Ferengi portrayals, they almost don't count. Because Quark is the Ferengi. And Armin Shimmerman has stated that the character is a little inconsistent throughout the series, to which I have to say, aren't we all? Aren't we all frail and weak and covered in dirt? Aren't we all God's ugly children? Aren't we all a little bit inconsistent? I still like him here. He's a schemer. And the constant tete-a-tete with Odo has more homoerotic tension than the movie Heat. People are always shipping these two. Or these two. But if you've ever seen a gay couple arguing in public, it usually plays out like this. Let's see who's left. Oh, the captain! Benjamin Sisko. It's going to be hard for me not to get all gushy here, because I think Sisko's probably the coolest captain in Trek history. I don't even think that statement is controversial. Of course, he's not the captain yet, he's a commander here. He's still waiting on that big promotion, and, I hope he gets it. Kind of funny that the first time you see him, he's crying because his wife got crushed by a big pile of metal. Thanks a lot, Locutus. Now my wife said, if I ever meet you in real life, I'm probably just gonna shake her hand and say something like, we met once, and you killed my wife. And then you'll say something like, oopsie daisy. Anyway, Commander,
Welcome to Bajor.
he's a single dad, and his life is at the lowest that it's probably ever gonna be. He's thinking of leaving Starfleet, for God's sakes. Pretty convenient that he stumbles upon the galaxy's only known stable wormhole. I guess you could call it fate. Talk about a game changer. The planet Bajor is about to be put on the map in a pretty big way, and he's got to be the one to navigate the whole thing. He really shows off his diplomatic skills, talking with the wormhole aliens, also known as the Prophets. Their communication style is awful. The way they talk is sort of like if you've ever encountered somebody that works for a pyramid scheme and you ask them what they do for a living and they try to do everything to, kind of skirt around the idea that they work for a pyramid scheme because they know they work for a pyramid scheme, but they can't just say it, you know? That would be giving up the game. That's what the Prophets sound like to me. Just really onerous and awful, and yeah, they're not nice people. By the end of the episode, Cisco's got his life back. He's got purpose, and he's gonna try and make this kooky collection of misfits work. And I think it's safe to say he sort of makes it happen. Now, we don't see his dark side just yet. His edge. That's season 2, season 3 stuff. I guess you see a little bit of it when he blackmails Quark. Picard's not doing that. Which brings us to the final character, Deep Space Nine. That's right, the station. He's one of the most crucial characters on the show. Sorry, she's one of the most crucial characters on the show. I think the station, like the city of New York, is a woman. Splayed in the sky, right under the heavens no less. She was built by Cardassians, but she purged them like a bad cold. And now Deep Space Nine is home to a bunch of people that are trying to do their best. I think that's what makes Deep Space Nine work. Everyone on the Enterprise and TNG, they're all just working in Starfleet, exploring the galaxy, meeting new life forms, getting murdered by goo. Deep Space Nine isn't a starship, it's a community, and a pretty diverse one at that, with different goals and different motivations. Cisco is picking up, the shambles of his life, juggling duty and fatherhood, and now fate. Odo is someone who doesn't even know who he is, but he's here, and he's going to do the best to bring justice to a chaotic situation. Maybe he'll uncover some things about himself along the way. And then you have someone like Quark. He's out to make a buck. He's out to swindle and cheat and fleece as much latinum out of people as he can. And you'd think that a mix of all these concepts and themes wouldn't work, but it does. It really, really does. Like any great piece of fiction, the dramatic parts are often funny, and the hilarious parts are also heart-rendering. We won't know it until the whole thing wraps, but the pilot is an excellent peek at what we'll eventually leave behind. Did you get it, the reference? Did you get what we leave behind? Anyways, I've always wanted to talk at length about Deep Space Nine, and I'm going to do some more recaps of my favorite episodes, so let me know what you think, or which episode you'd like me to yap about next. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye!